What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Rome, and this is the Z Fold 8. And right out of the gate, I'm gonna say I'm genuinely enjoying this device. It's such a good device. It's so fun. But for $1,800 though, really? Let's talk about it. The Z Fold 8. Has my opinion on this device changed? Short answer, no. I still love this device. It is incredible, actually. I'm still not going to recommend it for that price range unless you have a trade-in deal going on through a carrier or through Samsung themselves or something like that. Otherwise, I cannot recommend you buy this device. And now that it's been out for a while and people have been able to form their own opinions, get their hands on it and talk about how they feel about it, a lot of people love it. And some have said that they just cannot vibe with it. And that's completely understandable. Every phone is not for every person. And I think, that's acceptable. That's why we have options out here. And that's why I preach about options on this channel. This channel is about options. That's why I review all these different phones from all these different companies. I got Huawei's here. I have Vivo's here. I have everything. So that's why we're all about options on this channel. Whereas I know we only have three real options in the US, but for those that want to broaden your horizons, there are other options out there and you can explore those and see if they work for you. But for now, we're here to talk about the Z Fold 8. My experience is going to be a bit different from others out there, whereas I've interacted with this form factor before with the Huawei Pure X Max. So this is not new to me. So I wasn't really in a honeymoon phase with this device. It was just nice to be able to access all of the Google features, all of the Google goodness that we're used to here in the US. And that's just what I was missing on the Huawei Pure X Max. We're going to get into the Samsung Z Fold 8 itself in just a moment, but I do want to talk about OneUI. And I can say, I'm going to report in and say that I am pleasantly surprised with OneUI. I'm enjoying interacting with it. Built in, you do have a good amount of customization here. It's really, really good. Some menus don't necessarily make sense to me just yet, but I'm getting there because I'm just used to navigating these menus differently because I use a lot of foreign devices. Even though I know this is based in Korea, I get it, but I'm just saying I am used to interacting with the device a bit differently, okay? But with all that being said, once you go into the lock screen, built-in customization options are just really, really nice. You get your different frames here. You could change how things look and just kind of really make it your own vibe. Now, when I was talking about customization options and things like that in my previous video on this device, someone kind of jumped down my throat. Nobody uses Good Lock and things like that. That's why I kind of mentioned that outside of Good Lock, you do have a lot of customization options here, and it's really cool. But if you want to go deeper, you can go in, you can navigate into Good Lock, in which I really want to spend some time in here and make a video on this. If you guys are interested, I will do that. I did see someone comment on that down below saying that they would like a video on this. So I think that's enough for me to do it. So I will be getting to that, but not in this video. This is just the 2 weeks later Samsung Z Fold 8. So this thing is packed with features. And for those of you out there that don't use Good Lock, you probably should dig into it. It's really fun just setting up your device and getting it to look how you want it to look. So there's a lot packed in here. So that's really good stuff. So if you're not aware of Good Lock, this is your your cue to go in here, dig around and look. Because you got your home screen where you can go into this app called Home Up. And you can go in and change your home screen, change how it looks. You can change how many apps you have on your home, or how many apps are allowed on your home screen. Push a little bit further than what the OneUI would allow you to do natively. And you can change your edge panels and things like that, so on. So you could do a lot in here. So I'm going to make a video on that. We're just going to go through each of these and spend a little time in them. But just for the sake of time for this video, just understand that you do have that option, okay? So for those of you that don't use it, you should check it out. Just check it out. It's fun. It can be overwhelming if you dig a little too deep, but if you just take your time and just make it light, just take it light, just try things out. You can always revert it back. Okay, so don't get overwhelmed in there. Okay, but outside of that, One UI is really smooth on this device. It's been really good actually. I haven't noticed any shortcomings so far. It's been really good to me. I have no complaints. Even for like apps and things like that, like this sidebar right here is really cool. I like the shortcuts. You can save your own shortcuts in here. Like if I want to open Telegram and YouTube, I could do that. And it's really cool. And those shortcuts appear on the inner and outer displays, which is really nice. So if I were to open it up, I could do the same thing here. Let me go ahead and close YouTube really quickly. I'm going to go out and I'm going to go back in and do that again. And you see, it opens it up and you can save that and you can switch those between vertical and horizontal. And then you can go in and save them in that format or whatever, however you want to do it. It's really cool. Like I like what they can do on here. All right, so something I want to cover really quickly is something that I covered in an initial video and I just made a minor mistake on it and it was just me. And you guys pointed that out. So I'm going to go ahead and open these up again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in. I'm going to add a third app. So let's do threads. And what I was doing was I was dragging it down here and I saw this prompt and I immediately just thought, hey, I guess I can't add a third vertical app, but you absolutely can. You just have to drag it up to over here. And if you drag to the middle screen, it'll open up a window. So this is really nice. This is really pleasant. I'm enjoying it now. I fully understand. I just should have been a little more patient. And then you can do that. You can adjust the size of them. Just it's really nice. If everything feels really fluid, and then you want to drag up again and just add in a third app. Do I have Instagram open? I don't think I do. So I could drag it up and do a floating window. So the OS itself is really nice. One UI is really pleasant to interact with. So I'll give Samsung a thumbs up on that. So let's talk about battery life really quickly. So this morning has been really busy for me. So I haven't used the phone as much since I took it off the charger. But you can see I took it off the charger roughly around, I would say around between 6 and 7 a.m. this morning. And I'm down 12%. But you can see my screen on time has only been an hour. Losing 12% with 1 hour of use, I guess that's kind of on par, I guess. But what I will say is at the end of the day, I'm roughly down to 30–40%, which I'm kind of not used to these days, but it's not bad. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's bad. That is good battery right there. I'm getting upwards of 5 to 6 hours of screen on time, maybe more, but I am a heavy user and I'm not just doing little stuff like doom scrolling from time to time. I actually have YouTube running, like playing full screen videos, unfolded, just just pumping out content. So yes, and that brings me to another point. That is my favorite way to consume media on this device, YouTube. So yes, the battery is solid, and I'm gonna, even though the battery size is not huge per se, kudos, because it is solid. And I'm going to be honest about that. I have no complaints about battery life whatsoever on here right now. My initial anxiety was coming from past experiences with Samsung and just battery life just not being good. I mean, going from like just not being able to make it through half a day without having to put my phone on a charger. This is a pleasant surprise. Now, like I said, I'm used to like these foreign devices with these huge batteries and just in the day at like 50–60% and being able to go into the next day. And then you have these crazy charging speeds and things like that. This one has nice charging speed. I just wish that Samsung included a charger with this device. So you can know that you're getting the full charging speeds out of there every time you use it. Because I'm using different chargers around the house and the charging speeds just vary so much. So yeah, but the charging speeds are nice. So you're not spending all day on a charger. It's not the 30 to 45 minutes with these, just random chargers around the house. I know it can. I know it can do like 45 minutes to a full charge. I know what it's capable of. Just saying. Okay. And I'm just not, with all these other charges laying around the house, I'm just not spending, money on an additional charge. I'm just not. All right. So in a previous video on this device, I did harp on about haptics being a little too soft for me. And while that's still partially true, I will say that I have my respect for their haptics have grown actually. They've changed. You can increase the strength on Gboard. Someone dropped a comment down below. Say, hey, you could, when you're typing, you want the haptics to be stronger. You can increase the strength on there. So now typing doesn't feel nearly as soft and weak as I initially felt. Like it's actually fairly strong. I will say that I'm just not a fan of like the default settings on like notifications and things like that. When it rings, you can feel this bad boy, especially if it rings. If you give it just a little quick moment, everything kicks in. This thing really kicks in and vibrates a lot. But for like notifications, they're just too short and soft. So those are some settings you can go in and change notification settings to make it like a strong, like a more drawn out vibration. It does improve things quite a bit. So get in there and mess with that a little bit. I'll actually show you. Let me get my video out of the way. All right. So once you get into settings and go down to sounds and vibration, you can go down and you can go to your notification vibration and things like that. And I recommend changing that because I just miss it so often. But you can go in here, you can choose basic, heartbeat, so on and so forth. You can even sync with your notification sound and it'll vibrate, but it's so quick. So I switched it over to basic and it vibrates longer. It's like drawing out more than just these quick short notification vibrations where you just completely miss them. And I just crank that all the way up so I could just get the maximum strength on the motor and feel it. So I do recommend changing that if you're having issues where you're missing notifications and things like that. I just strongly recommend that. And talking about speakers really quickly, I just don't have a method of capturing this right now. But once I work that out, I will start implementing that in future videos. But for now, audio coming from the left side of your device is become more noticeable. I just really have no other way to explain that. But these two speakers being on the left side of your device, you do notice that. And it may be a deal breaker for some, it may not be for others. I mean, just keep that in mind. If you're one of those people that do care about how your audio disperses from your device, just keep that in mind. I'm going to turn this up and I'm telling you, like, I'm centered on the device and I absolutely hear all of my audio coming from the left side of this device. It's not a huge deal, but I do notice it. Okay. Won't spend too much time on that. And I do typically cover multitasking on these devices because you do have the space to do it. And I will admit that I'm not necessarily the biggest multitasker. It is there when I do need it because sometimes I will talk in my group chat with my friends and I'll watch a YouTube video. I'll be watching a YouTube video and talking about what's going on over here. And that's nice to have, but that is not like extremely common. It happens, but it's not extremely common. I do also talk about like things that are going on Threads right now. Okay, so I do talk about things that are going on Threads right now with like tech and things like that. And I will talk about it in Shane Craig's tech Discord, which is really cool. So that's also a nice feature to have. So they're there if you need them, but I'm just not the biggest. What I do most of the time on this device is I watch YouTube and I have that bad boy propped up on my desk somewhere and I'm just crushing out videos on here. That's mostly what I do on here. That's why I use this big screen most of the time. Okay. All right. So after playing Zoneless Zen Zero for a while and then switching over to Wuthering Waves, I could say that I haven't really noticed any performance issues or whatever. I will say this, though. The device does get a bit warm, but nothing to where I've noticed any like performance issues or frame drops or lagging between inputs or anything like that. Nothing crazy actually. So I'm actually really impressed with how well the Z Fold 8 is doing while gaming. I mean, the device is just really well designed, and especially for it to be so thin. I was really concerned about heat dissipation and things like that, but it seems to hold up well. Now, I will say that I'm not doing like crazy extended gaming sessions or whatever. This has roughly been about 30 minutes, roughly, maybe 45 minutes. But yeah, it hasn't been bad at all. I mean, the device is holding up really well. So yeah, I won't beat gaming too much or whatever. It just understand it does well and it looks beautiful. I have everything cranked up, 60 FPS, graphics on ultra settings, everything. So yeah, this is really good. Solid design. Screen is beautiful. You get this big, huge screen to game on or whatever. So yeah, gaming is perfectly fine on here. So, all right, so cameras. Has my opinion changed on these bad boys since I've gotten a device? And really, I'm still in the same place. When you want to capture like a up close video, I think the photos are fine. I'm not blown away by them by any means, but they are fine. Yeah, but when you want to zoom in on anything, I just feel it. It just is. There's just you feel that lacking telephoto lens. Everything almost instantly becomes fuzzier if you go beyond 2 times zoom on here. And I've seen like little quick videos online where if you're seeing fuzzy videos, adjust this and adjust that. The average person is not adjusting their cameras. Like they're expecting them to be good out of the box. I don't know how realistic that. I think that's realistic. If you're paying almost $2,000 for a device, I think that's realistic to expect your cameras to be decent, and they are for the most part. Like I said, from that one time. Oh no. Let me take that back. From ultra wide to 2 times, that 2 times crop, you're fine. Anything beyond that, things just start to look a little weird. And I mean, you know, the you have to decide how much that matters to you. Like this photo itself isn't bad because I'm not zoomed in at all. But once you start zooming in, everything just instantly becomes more blurry. It looks like blotches. All right. But yeah, so my opinion on the cameras hasn't really changed. Solid cameras, no, decent cameras. I won't say solid, decent cameras on here. Not impressed, but they'll get the job done. All right. So in closing, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that I genuinely enjoyed this device. That does not mean I recommend it, not at $1,800. And for everybody that jumps in my comments saying, well, there are trade-in deals, carrier trade-ins, store trade-ins, well, retail trade-ins, things like that. I'm aware of all of that. I'm not here to talk about what you can get if you trade in another phone for this device. What I'm talking about is what you get at that price point, period. So at that price point, I cannot recommend the Z Fold 8 simply because they cut out a whole camera. They made the battery smaller, and they try to justify this by turning this into a base model and then having a Z Fold Ultra with all the cameras and a slightly larger battery and things like that. I don't care about any of that. That's all marketing to me. I'm sorry, but that's marketing to me. This device is hard to recommend. As fun as it is, as much as I'm enjoying it, unless you just want to put those coins out there and go ahead and buy it, that's fine. That's completely up to you. That's your money. I'm just saying I can't recommend it at that price point. These companies have got to come down with these prices. These are insane. And then just creating a slot where this just pops in at this price point and then moving the other one up to an ultra. I feel like that's crazy. I do. I just genuinely feel like that's crazy. So I cannot recommend it, but it is a solid device. Don't get me wrong. Well designed. I think they did an incredible job with the design of it and everything like that. I just feel like that price just ain't it. Not for me. But anyway, overall, solid device. I'm enjoying the software. The battery life has not been bad at all. The cameras are decent. That's it. That's all I gotta say about it. I'm gonna spend more time with it. I'm still gonna test things out. I'm gonna see how it holds up over the long run. Great device. Not for $1,800, $1,900 though. All right. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right. Later.